into the microphone.
Hey Cass, how's it going?
I'm pretty splendid, thank you.
Simon, how you doing?
I am okay. I'm feeling pretty mighty, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, that's weird.
You know, like.
I think we have a guest here who knows a lot about that. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Nah.
Okay. Anyway, guys, that's the show today.
Thank you very much.
Well, I just
Tune in.
here as the host just introduced me.
That
I
is
thought
true.
this
It is
was
the
a bit of
host job.
Professionalism in this.
Yes. And if you're all
Like
noticing,
our guest needs no introduction, so we won't do it.
yeah, we won't do it. We're just gonna have him right here.
Just
Yes,
sit there.
ladies and gentlemen.
It says in
Ladies
the
and
name thing,
gentlemen.
doesn't it? It says.
Oh yeah, it
Right
does.
there.
But there's people who are listening to the Spotify version. They might not
Yeah, we're
know.
not gonna
Oh my
say
god.
I know, right?
Just
Ugh.
listening.
If you're listening to the
Back
Spotify
reference.
version, you're a fucking loser. I'm
If
sorry.
you're a fucking loser.
You're a
Recognize my
loser.
voice.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
How
We
dare
are, of course, here with the great Shane Haste of TMDK, boys.
The
That is
good.
who.
Hell
the good.
yeah.
Very much.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Currently,
Good. I wouldn't say great.
I think.
Hey.
I think.
Hey.
I mean, you are one half of both the strong open weight and the New Japan Tag Team Champions right now. You're crushing it right now. People may also know him from NXT as Shane Thorne and on the main roster as a fellow in a mask named
Mr.
Slapjack. Mr.
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah.
Mr.
Jack.
It would have been a better name.
Jackson at Halloween.
Do they have? I wonder.
I was actually never Slapjack, so I don't know what that came from.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
The
No,
mark
yeah,
Slapjack, and it merely possesses the wearer. Much
yes.
It's like the mask.
the Loki mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere
I was
specifically
mask is at the
son of
bottom
a-
of the ocean, and someone's gonna find it in like 5
Yeah.
years. And...
There's gonna be a bit of Jumanji.
That's it, baby.
Jumanji.
I was thinking more along the lines of like, it's like, you know how like Sami Zayn and El Generico are two different people, like Slapjack's off fighting for an orphanage somewhere in
Yep.
Yeah.
like, El
He went back
Generico
to his planet.
Yeah, it's like The Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to his home planet.
Poochie.
But yeah,
Poochie. He's from the same planet as Poochie.
I was just gonna say, did he die on the way home to his home planet? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would that be
I
good
think
for better or
Oh
worse?
I
no.
believe so.
We'll have the 10-bell salute. Don't you worry.
No, he could be
Slapjack.
resurrected for the right amount of money.
That's true. Yeah. There you go.
He was
That
created.
actually does.
So-
I do have my first question to start off right here. Do you still have the Slapjack mask?
I don't.
Ooh.
Who has it? So I sent it to. So I'm in LA. NXT's over in wherever you call it. What's it? Florida.
Florida.
Florida, yeah.
I sent it back that way to Pretty Deadly maybe 2 years ago. Because they were doing like the NXT Halloween stuff, and I was like, guys,
Oh my god.
while you guys are trying to pick out costumes, it would be funny if one of you were like, how about this? And then they're like, ew, no. You know, that was my.
That sounds funny.
Oh,
How
no.
did I miss that?
Well, they
Jesus
didn't
Did
do
Christ.
it. So they didn't.
Yeah, I
do
was
it.
gonna say.
Okay.
It was the same week or the week before or after Dijak was making his return and throwing his mask into the fire. So
Oh.
if we'd made a joke of one mask, then it would have taken away the seriousness
Right.
of the other one. But like, I'm just every year I'm like, just someone have it on in the background or something. Like it's down there.
Someone in production probably just has it and just kind of goes like puts it on like.
I think Mason Madden has it at the moment. I think it's
Oh,
Ah.
I think it's
That
been
would
passed
make
on
so
to
much
him.
sense, yeah.
He is the collector of memorabilia. He has his masks. He has the prototype masks that didn't make it for the group.
Oh,
which
boy.
They just still because no one wanted it, so he got. He's got mine, so that one day in passing I'll end up getting it back. But then there's that's the second Slapjack mask. The first one, I think Lindsay has somewhere floating around.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I gave it to him to see if he could turn it into like a proper lucha.
Like a luchador.
Oh god, that'd be
That's
so
sick.
interesting.
Yeah,
No
just
rules.
to like because the strapping of the back of it was terrible. Like it was just
I was
hard.
gonna say, how
Whip.
uncomfortable was that to wrestle in?
Yeah, immensely. Like it just, I'd give like guys who wrestle in masks like Mankind and Kane their masks too to stay on would have had to have been so tight. And the biggest problem with this one, to keep it from sliding up and down, I'd have a second strap there to pull it there. So I couldn't open my mouth the whole way. So I could barely breathe in the thing. I couldn't take full, like, when you gas out, you want to breathe like that.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't do that. So yeah,
that's
there's a lot of short breaths.
Tiny hockey mask holes that you couldn't even.
Wow, they had you in the saw trap. Crazy.
Literally.
So,
I was gonna say, how was that like? And that was the finished product. Like, how was what was the prototype like? If the
prototype was just a little bit more boxy in the eyes as well, so I couldn't see to the side of me. So that was the one thing. Like, I gave him a whole bunch of because the guy Jason who made the masks is the same guy who made like all the Wyatt masks and things like that.
Oh. Okay.
So he is a great mask maker. Like the quality of them was insane, like so good. And I gave him a whole bunch of like alternative ideas of like cool different styles of doing the same thing. Like is it Darksiders? You ever play the game Darksiders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Who was the one with the white mask there? One of those guys.
Was it Death?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It is Death. Yeah.
So I was like, can we do instead of like vertical? Can we do like vertical line stuff like that? He's like, yeah, man, I'll like check it out. I'll try to do that. And then he said that they said no, they approved that design, and so that was the one that I got. And the second one is a little bit more squared on the sides and has a little bit better visibility, but apart from that, nothing really changed.
God bless for making the best of that situation. Cause, like,
Oh yeah.
I didn't even hate it that bad. Like people very much overhate it.
It was fun, yeah.
It's cool in hindsight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's cool in hindsight, but like, yeah, the first, so we've gotten no direction on what to do with the masks either. We weren't even sure if we were meant to keep them on or just use them as entrance masks.
Oh,
like, I think
jeez.
the Wyatt 6 guys, I think the company has learned from them too that you don't.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think Eric Rowan's gonna be wrestling in that thing. That's
Yeah.
a little.
I feel like there was a massive shift. I can't
Like
think about
when
it.
I saw, that they took them off, I'm like, oh, good. Like that's what it should be. You shouldn't be wearing these things. I mean, like it was a good experiment, and that's what the fucking Thunderdome and COVID time was a lot of experimenting and trial and error.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like a lot of because we didn't get direction for fuck all. So it was trial and error. They're like, go out there and talk. And then, you got to be more like monsters. Next week, we talk more like monsters. You got to talk less like monsters. Like, all right, like trial and
It's
error.
all like up and down and all around and all this direction and stuff. And I guess it's like, you're right, because around that time, what else could you do except just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks? Because there was nothing
That was
else,
like right when the Thunderdome came in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys were, like,
because there was that whole angle where like Retribution like destroyed, I guess, the ring with the chainsaw.
Which I didn't. I think Mace was the only one who got to do any of that, and that was on the back end. And so we thought we were going to come in and be like this, like new radical kind of group, and then get to do. I'm like, hell yeah, I love. Pre-tape stuff in pro wrestling is sick, and especially when they're putting like that effort into it. Like hell yeah, I want to just do over-the-top, pre-recorded, hardcore matches and stuff like that, and then that went out.
We just saw that like even now recently with the Hangman angle on AEW when he burned Swerve's house down, which was also like that was an awesome like pre-recorded
so good
moment,
man,
genuinely. And it's a shame because like when WWE was doing that stuff, it was like the highlight of that era. And Retribution, I remember when it debuted, I was like, it was giving me like a Nexus vibe where it was like, it could like, this felt very like guerrilla. It felt like something I wasn't seeing. And then they just kind of turned it into a spook show, which
well, that's the thing, like too, like there was like the no fly stuff going on with like not trying their people. So all the big stars lived out of state, so they had to use people in Orlando. Once we started really getting rolling with the Retribution stuff, that's when they started getting all the big stars back. So, you know what I mean? Like, why not use your big stars?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, so we went from being like main eventing Raw to slowly going back down the card. And
to the breakup on the fast lane kickoff.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
which is
that's
a shame.
like, you can't blame it. It's business.
Yeah.
You know? And it's ratings and all that crap. It's a television show. So
I remember sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My audio is sometimes very, very poor on these, and I apologize for that in advance.
It happens.
I remember I was watching the Dijak interview on Fightful recently after he left WWE, and he just spoke about how like the lack of direction and like genuinely like so many like awesome talented people like in that group, and like you and Mustafa Ali obviously came into it, and you guys are all doing super well off now. And I just wanted to ask real quickly, because you got a big start in Noah in the early 2010s, and then you ended up going to NXT, and now you've come back to Japan obviously in this big way. TMDK has expanded, it's all over. Between those like 3 eras of wrestling, like wrestling in Japan in the early 2010s, and then going to NXT in Orlando, and then main roster and all that, now to leaving and going to a different sort of a different Japan now. It's been 10 years. What have been like key, like, have you changed your style a lot? Do you find that like I mean, obviously it's been 15 years, so obviously you're going to change over time, but like, have there been a lot of consistencies? Do you feel like you've changed, or do you feel like you've changed like a whole lot, or do you feel like you've had a pretty constant same path, just how you approach wrestling and how you approach your mindset towards like storylines and the like?
Definitely not storylines too much, because like I guess like in Japan, we have slight storylines, but they're very organic. It's the competition, so you don't have to overthink it. Zach's been really good with like being like, you've got like the last G1, not the one that he just won, the one before. He's like, well, if you're not winning it, you still have to make your own storylines for it. And to me, I'm like, oh yeah, just being in it is fine. Like, 'cause it was our first. That was easy. Like, it's your first G1, that's easy. But the more you do, you've got to make your own storylines. And I saw this G1, I don't know if you guys watched this year's G1 that much, but there was so many good little storylines in it with like the older guys, the younger guys, and then amongst the younger guys being the younger guy who's going to break out. And then like the Godo storyline was sick too. Like, and these are all things that you have, you can make yourself. Like, so I don't have to worry about that too much, but I do from like my first, you said it was 15 years ago, man. I'm so fucking old now.
God,
damn. I mean,
I'm old. Like, you know, I got the what's the shoulder things a little popped out there. I've had two knee surgeries. Just I'm lazy. I like to think that
I feel
I'm
that.
one of the laziest wrestlers that is still good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you do it. Get your shit in.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and so like, and that's like, I do far less now. Not that I can't do it, but I just do far less. And it is like that fucking annoying thing of slow down and make more use of your moments. And I'm like, shut up, old man. That's just because you can't go. But it also helps that, you know, I have had this long career that people have seen, and so you can do less because just being there is a move, is a moment where when you are younger, you do have to do more to be noticed, and then you can cut it back. You can trim the fat. So that is just experience and like learning. Because like I wrestle with guys, and I'm like, you are so much better than what I am now, and they're like, no, I'm not, and I'm like, no, I'm just more over. Like, that's all
exactly.
on TV and shit, I'm more over, so that helps.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so just a lot of people who, younger people, advice for younger people who might be worried that they're not doing enough or they're not over enough. Like, just give it time. Just be good and consistent. Give it time.
Yeah. And you're seeing though, like I think Will Ospreay is like a big example of that, right? Like especially in recent, like, and it's paid off for him because he is fucking aces over right now in AEW, right?
Even even look at younger guys, like, you know, you look at Javon Evans right now, and also Nick Wayne, like guys who are like barely 20, you know. Nick Wayne's like what, 19 now? It's like
20, and he's a great example too, because he's like, people like, he didn't attach himself to someone and like coattail ride. He is good, and Christian saw something potential in it, and that's why like these things happen. Like with the guys like that, they don't just get given someone, like they see, and that's a big honor. And then from being like that, even like Daniel Garcia is another really good one that like I see. I don't watch all that much wrestling anymore, but I see him on everything. But I don't see full matches. I don't see moves. I just see him being him, and the angles that he's in, and it's over. And I'm like, oh, that guy's over. Like that's good. And I'm like, what move did you do? I don't know. It's like I don't know a lot of moves that he does. Like so. And that's another thing. Like you're saying, Osprey can do every move in the book, and he can reinvent every move in the book. But he's so smart. Like the last thing with the Tiger Driver, like that's just one of his impressive moves. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And like he builds it just around that one move, not a billion moves. So yeah. That thing of getting over and then slowing it down, which as you get older, your body can't do and take as much. Not Wills. Wills can do whatever. Like he's a freak of nature.
So it's like he made a rubber.
Something else, bro.
Like just bounces off, right?
Rubber and strength. Yeah. So things like that. I forgot the original point, but yeah.
Honestly, I've just been marking out for the last 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, honestly, which is so fair.
I do more comedy now. Like I tell everyone I'm a fucking comedy wrestler. I don't give a shit. Like
that's fine,
because
no shame at all.
Also, like I just want to be carefree and have fucking fun doing it because in WWE there was just so much fucking people telling you what to do and stop being silly. You'll never get over being silly. You have to be a serious ass kicker. And it's like
that too.
I'll be a serious ass kicker, but I lose every match by your choice, not my own.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the boys kick my ass very easily. I remember there was a coconut loop when I was wrestling Adrian Joel. I don't know if you remember him from back in the day.
Rings a bell.
He was with Caesar Bononi. They were tag team.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They ended up having a great dynamic and shit. But like, I was on TV. He hadn't properly been on TV yet, and there was all this TV equity thing. And this was just a Florida local NXT show, and he was booked to beat me. And I'm like, I go to the coach. I'm like, what happens to TV equity here? Shouldn't I be winning this match? And he goes, well, because he's not the one who books it. Someone else above him booked it. And he's like, well, you guys could just fight for real and see who wins. And I'm like, cool, Adrian, you're up. No problem.
That's sick.
You'll kill me. You beat the shit out of me in a fake fight anyway. So
jeez.
Well, I guess
not so modest is Shane Haste. Incredible.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to get
that brings me to another point too, just like during that time. There was a weird point around 2020, early 2020, before COVID, where you were with MVP.
Yeah.
And Duke Hudson. The Hurt Business 1.0 or 0, let's call it. The Hurt Blowness.
I forgot about that until Wyatt mentioned it before the pod. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because there was a weird period before COVID happened where Raw was just doing a lot of very odd things. Like they had Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, I believe, on the main roster briefly. They had you guys, and then they had Riddick Moss being the 24/7 champion, trying to push him as like a guy. So what exactly? Yeah,
that's it's just what I was saying. They had to use people who were local. Sense, a lot of us were just doing.
Oh, it was like right. Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's kind of like as things were closed down, like they were running out of the PC, so we were kind of there anyway. Like we were right. I lived down the road, and so they were using us for main event. And then like there's some points where you'd be like, you do main event, and because it was all pre-recorded, none of it was live at that point, so that was cool. It was like whatever. Like so you do that, and then they'd be like, can you do Raw? And I'm like, yeah, it's my job, so yes, I have to. And like,
of course.
So doing my Raw debut, I'm just like, this is a fucking training match. Like, there's no one in the crowd. I'm just doing it at the PC where I would go to every day and do practice matches and shit. So like yeah, Raw. I'm like, just because you put an LED fucking Raw logo up there doesn't mean it's. I didn't feel like anything different. Like usually at the PC anyway, there's WrestleMania fucking banners left up and shit, and I'm like, well, didn't I just wrestle at WrestleMania? Like it's not the same thing.
That WrestleMania in the PC is like peering into an alternate dimension. It's like it's absolutely insane.
Times. Yeah. So and there's still good moments. Good for people who got the matches and got that chance. But
no, it was a lot of people kind of like started around that. Like I mean, like you said, you had like Retribution obviously doing that stuff, but then like you had, I believe, Murphy was pretty hot at that time.
Yeah,
Ray
his stuff
Matthews.
with,
I had never been a bigger fan of Buddy Murphy until up until
Yep.
that point. Like I was so
Austin Theory came
obsessed
up
with that
around
dude.
then too.
yeah, he came up, then back
Jordan
down
Zelina.
again.
Yeah,
Up and down
up
and
back
up and
down, back
down.
up again.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
wrestling on WrestleMania PC, and then back down, and then thank God he's doing stuff now. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's good. He's definitely like he's one of those guys that feels very like. I feel like they kind of gave him just like a lot of weird stuff because like I remember I used to watch him back when he was doing like Evolve and everything, back when like that NXT like thing first started coming up, and he was like quite good. Like I thought he was pretty good, and then just
I've wrestled against him. I've teamed with him. Great guy, so easy to work, and he loves it. Like, you know what I mean? That's what like. It's cool to see someone who's like his gimmick. Like he's always had that not gimmick, but he's in reality he loves it. He always wanted to be a WWE superstar, and he did all the right things to become one. Like he got in great shape. He learned, trained. He's done all the right things, and he's got himself to that position. And so yeah, it's awesome. I love to see that. Like people who love it getting rewarded for it.
Yeah. And it's cool for him as well because I feel like especially recently with like the Grayson Waller stuff, I feel like they're getting proper more into that like the more earnest side of it, like you said, like he did everything right. He did everything that he
exactly
could do, and now they're kind of playing into like that.
That was great. Yeah, and
it's awesome.
Up with a piece of shit.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is about to turn into a shoot. I can't. I can't believe
Sir,
please. B-grade reality stars become pro wrestlers.
Thank you, Survivor Austria. Thank you, Survivor.
Didn't even win it. I think there's another wrestler on that season as well. I'm pretty sure they were on the same season. Really? Harry, Ice Cream Harry. He was. I helped train that kid. He was so much better. He had so much more potential.
That is such a.
He just didn't Twitter enough.
Yeah. I do love that name though. Scream Harry.
I can imagine. Yeah, I don't blame you for not watching Survivor Australia.
yeah, it's not really quite on my list, but you know.
My brother probably.
That's what I brung to the table. No, I'm joking.
Now get me someone off of Love Island, then I'll give him the approval.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Big Brother, we get him on Big Brother. Let's go.
Oh God, forget about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
we spoke about like coming up and getting moments and stuff, and I kind of wanted to ask about the initial NXT run with TM61 because it felt like such a bizarre, like because you came in. And you guys were presented very well. You went straight to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic, the second one in 2016 with AOP.
Yeah,
and then it felt like there was just a lot of stop start, and I'm just curious, like, what was it like in NXT at that time? Like, what were some peaks and valleys of that time? Because it was such a strange thing to witness. I was like, these guys are really good, and I'm just not seeing them as often for some reason.
Because the people in charge had their toys they wanted to play with. Their new toys. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's business. Like, the TV show, we're all like, if we were out there real fighting, things could have been very different. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't be the TV show that it is.
World champion.
Well, no.
It was also like
AOP still would have kicked our ass.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they had Paul Ellering over above. That was their big we got to get Paul Ellering. He's cheering us on up there.
That's the funniest thing of like.
It was so weird for NXT especially because NXT felt like it was trying to be like this big kind of counterculture to like the hokey shit for a little bit, and then they just had that. It was like what? What are we doing?
That part of it was even funnier. Like so, AOP had been pushed. Like they had all the like entrances, they had the manager, they had the gimmick, and everything. Like, and they were telling us like that we were going to win the Dusty Classic, and I'm like, no, we're not. I'm like, oh, that's not. Like, are you not watching your own product? Like, look at these guys.
Look at them.
And then so we got this match and they're playing it and they've got the chain spot and they're like, all right, so they'll try to cheat. So they tried to cheat to win, failed at cheating, and then still just won.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of those things that afterwards you're like, oh wait, we just got buried. But like we did, like, you're like,
Fuck.
the bad guys failed at cheating and then just went, oh well, I guess we'll just win. Like clean.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And this is around like because they are big fucking those guys are fucking bruisers, right?
Yeah,
So
Beast
like,
is huge. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was funny.
Because you also had like
I love those guys. Great. We worked with them a lot too, and they were green to wrestling. So it was they're accomplished fighters, like real fighters. So it was a good like thing of us teaching them a little bit more pro wrestling towards that and how to incorporate that. And they're always super good, super respectful. They still are, good guys. And so, yeah, and like, why would you, like, if you came in and they're like, all right, we're going to push you, you wouldn't be like, oh, sorry, I'm only new, I shouldn't be pushed. Like, Sonny had been there for quite a while, and he'd been through it. And, dude, like, PC could be rough. The training, and then just, there's so much negative feedback. Like, it wasn't a very encouraging place. But it's just people trying to like keep their jobs, like so they're giving.
Like, fair enough.
Sometimes you didn't need feedback on everything, especially like the little coconut shows they call them, the local shows. Like you don't need reports for those. Like you don't need to critically analysis of everything of like, oh, the footwork was bad on that one. Like, yeah, but people were cheering. These are just little fun shows. Like
exactly, you're getting
that's
over.
How I
like,
see it. Yeah, I don't really care too hard about that.
Yeah,
it's like if people liked it, that's all that matters.
50 people out
that's
there
like
have a match, and then you get told everything you did wrong. I'm like, who cares? Like, who the fuck cares?
God,
like the constant like even with like Jey Uso, for example. Like, a lot of people are critical of him, like, ring-wise. I myself have been critical of him in the past, but he still gets that reaation from the crowd. And I'd be like, if I was in his steps, I'd be like, cool, I'm doing it. Like, I'm getting a reaction, so hey.
100%. Like, that's... Yeah. I do the same shit now. I do the same shit now.
Yep.
If the gimmick is able to give you that much still respect and love, like, fair enough,
Yeah. No,
like, why would you bother if you
like I said, I don't really watch it, but like I know they're very capable wrestlers who have been doing it. Like the Usos, both they're awesome. What a fucking tag team! Like
one
of the
back
best
in the
tag
day,
teams
they
of all
ones with
time.
New Day. Like those matches were insane, so good. And knowing the kind of restrictions and overproducing that company has to be able to go out there and just fucking do it, and then I'm 100% sure they bet on themselves. And I'm sure after some of those matches, they got fucking chewed out for why would you do this? How dare you do that?
How dare you?
I don't know 100%, but I'm sure they probably got chewed out for some things. Like, but that's betting on themselves.
Yeah, and you look at them. It's like I love that you mentioned the New Day matches because you look at those matches and those like. They're not like the most violent matches, but like they put like the Hell in a Cell match pushes the boundary of like violence for a WWE environment. Like when they're like when they stick, I can't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay, they stick them up against the wall and they have to
that was
in
awesome.
the cage. Like, that visual is insane, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like I need to mention again. It's not like what we just saw on Saturday with like Hangman and Swerve, for example, which was like uncomfortable to watch.
Amazing.
Uncomfortable. Fantastic, but good on them for finding an avenue, like especially around that era. Obviously, there's been the big management change, which has changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's good for them, and I completely lost my train of thought there. I'm so sorry.
Which is why we're gonna move on to Cass. What do you have to sit up?
You got something?
Shane, all right, I'm gonna completely throw it to the other side of the wall. Shane, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
But anyone who knows me knows this. Well, anyone online knows this. Anything with moose tracks in it.
Oh yeah,
fucking right.
He's cooking.
Moose tracks. Absolutely. I don't do that bunny track shit. None of that. It's got to be moose. Got to be the moose or nothing. And it's so just like apparently you can get it over here in Cali. I've just never. It's not at the supermarket.
Rare treasure find, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, I'm obviously
ice cream much or at all, so it's good that I don't get it.
I was gonna say, I'm I'm obviously the Vermontian guy over here, so Ben and Jerry's big thing over here, obviously. That late night, what's it called? What's the Jimmy Fallon flavor? It's
The
like
late night,
late
the late
bite.
night dough, the late night
Late night
dough.
dough.
Dude, that
Yeah.
shit is crack. Like that shit is good.
There's one. So I shop at Amazon Fresh because I support the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking, is it Delight or Enlight? I think they're Delight.
Mhm.
Something like that. They've got like the layered ones too.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah.
my
I think I got those. I used to work at a grocery store, and I would get those on my fucking 15-minute breaks.
Yeah, the
Demolish
containers, like
them.
the see-through pints of them. Yeah, they're pretty good, but yeah, try to stay away from the sugars. So,
Which
Yeah.
is valid.
no sugar fucking ice creams, not worth it.
Yep.
Once a year, you go on like a vision quest into the woods and
Maybe.
find a container of moose tracks. Once a year.
Yeah, I should, but then yeah, I'll get hooked back. I'll get hooked on this shit again, man. I'll get hooked on it again. I kicked the habit.
Moose tracks, man. You got any moose tracks?
I let it fucking I suck that dick, man. I got that. I kicked that habit with. I left it in Orlando. I left that in Florida.
Needed it. The slap that was the slapjack mask was talking to you like Kylo Ren in Star Wars was like, get the moose tracks.
Do it. Eat it. Eat it now.
Eat it.
So one last thing I want to touch on too, just during that whole, I believe it was NXT you were doing this. You had like a brief gimmick on the, I don't think you ever brought it to TV, but you had like this like Crocodile Dundee hat going on. And...
That was at the end of my main roster thing.
I gotcha.
It was honestly, it was Dijak being annoying enough for me to do it. He's like, just be Steve Irwin. Just be Steve Irwin. And I'm
Simple.
like, fuck you, I'm not gonna be a dorky stereotype. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, fuck you, man. And then eventually I'm like, well, I just want to be on TV and used. So whatever fucking gets me paid. And like, you know, I'm like, Australians will see it and think I'm fucking lame and being a stereotype. But I'm like, you know what? Australia doesn't pay my fucking bills. So
exactly.
I'll be a dancing. I was just Slapjack. I'll be a dancing clown for America. And like the stupid thing is too, and then same with Nikki. Nikki was a good example of this. Her superhero character that she was doing.
Oh my god!
Like,
I completely forgot about that.
Online, people were like, "Oh, this is a silly superhero character." She was selling merch out the fucking door.
It was over.
She won the world title.
She won the fucking world title. She was making money. She was on TV every week with it because, like wrestling is for everyone, but WWE is a kids program.
Yes,
marketed
around that time, especially.
It's
around that time,
and that's why they're a $1 billion company. As soon as they changed it to a PG thing and opened it up to everyone, like the Attitude Era was sick, but because of all that stuff, they couldn't be. Parents weren't letting their kids watch it.
Yeah.
You know, like, now WWE, well, now it's kind of getting a little bit more back to it, but like during that PG era,
they've definitely hit a comfortable.
That's where they became a $1 billion company because it's like the Wiggles. You know what I mean? Like the Wiggles are billionaires.
Oh, dude.
And it's children, like the money is all in for parents to entertain their children. For someone else to
exactly.
Yeah. So I wasn't doing that. Like that, the idea for that was never to be fucking world champ. Like it was just to be something fun, a fun opener. The characters kind of
get the bread, you know.
Yeah, I did the full like flannel and shit like that, and they're like, let's work on the colors. And I'm like, well, the point of it is to be the stereotype. So changing the colors doesn't fucking work.
Doesn't do much for me.
Yeah,
so
half-assing it at that point.
So then with there's the picture and I'm wearing the blue. So my dad used to work up on the mines in WA and his work uniform was the stubby shorts, the khaki shorts and a blue button-up shirt. So I pivoted it from that older Australian stereotype to a mix of more of an outback miner, like a hard-working, and I'm a fucking hard worker. And so it spilled all of true and like, it all got presented to Vince and stuff like that, and they just and ahed on it for so long. But before that, like they took my name away, so I wasn't allowed to be Shane Thorne anymore. I wasn't allowed to because they didn't want another Shane because there was already one Shane. They couldn't have.
my
God.
There's only one Shane.
I'm not even remotely surprised that was the reason.
That's actually crazy. I never even thought of that.
That's
I was written in a lot of the first scripts to be on TV, like maybe 2 weeks after Retribution broke up. I was written into scripts to be just in the background segment, where it was like me and Adam Pearce is like, "Hey Shane, welcome to SmackDown. Great to have you here." Then Sami Zayn walks in and it becomes about his thing. Simple as that. Another one was like when Corbin was the poor Corbin. It was Tony Storm and I having a chat. He comes up, asks for some money, camera follows him. Easy as that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, you don't have a name, so we can't put you on. I'm like, just call me Thorn. Who gives a shit? You can take my first name away anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares? Call me Bob Thorne.
That's kind of
Bob Thorne.
Crocodile Thorn D, you know?
Robert Thorne.
Who cares? You're going to take that shit away anyway.
I was
Randy
gonna say,
Thorne.
Then with the name, like, it ended up getting like, they're like, oh yeah, that, and they're like, oh, we just want to work on the colors to make sure. And I'm like,
You're just making shit up at this point.
Yeah, I'm like,
no, you don't want this.
Because it is, you just slot people in, and it's been shown like with other people who have sat in catering for a year, and then they're like, how about we put them out there in a match? Oh, fucking geniuses. Like,
whoa.
Whoa.
What if we let the wrestler wrestle?
Yeah.
Slow down.
I tried. There was one time when I think it was Madison Square Garden where Edge got concertoed by someone and got
it was Seth.
like
I think it was
gurneyed back to the thing they needed. They're like, all right, we need people to be standing in the background and being like, oh no. And I was not on the list for that group of people because I wasn't on TV. But I just went and stood in there anyway.
There you go,
awesome.
dude.
Went to business for yourself, yeah, bro.
Real worker.
Real
fucking worker.
I'm fucking standing in this group, and like I stood in the back. And I'm like, yeah. And then I watched it, and the angle they used, fucking Boogs and Shin, perfectly block me the whole time.
Oh man!
My like one arm, like
oh jeez.
They really had it out for you. That's
that was like, the one chance I could have got my fucking face on TV again.
We got like a little bit of your hair, They got
that's it. Just was like my shoulder or something, and I'm like, damn it.
They noticed the tattoo and they're like, okay, we got him. That's it. That's all I fucking need.
Yeah, I would have been wearing a button-up shirt or some shit too. So I was like, you'd never know it was me. I'm like, God damn it.
So you were over here pulling like a Paul London, just going, and then they just said, nope. They said, get out of here.
It's just they wouldn't have thought a second of it. It just happened that
exactly
perfectly blocked me out.
That's so funny. Oh my god, that's incredible.
I was like, what fucking shit.
Wow.
But, I had like another picture of I was like, well, don't give me a name. Just have me like until we can think of a name. Just have me kind of like around, like how they do now, with people like in the background and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, just having it around. It's like kind of like like when Dolph Ziggler first came in, and all he did was come in and introduce himself, and then there was nothing more than that. But even just that, me in the background, and then when we figure out a name, then be something like, wait, who the fuck is that guy?
It's like, who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Yeah, like, who the fuck is that guy? I'm like, I'm Griff Garrison. Like, and then that person's like, well, screw you, I'm gonna kick your ass tonight, and then that's it. Right. The Bushman gimmick thing too. Like, it's like, oh well, how's it going to translate to in the ring? How's it going to how do we make this work in the ring? I'm like, who cares? I'll just go out there, I'll make the other person look good, they'll pin me, and then I'll fucking go home. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to, your gimmick doesn't have to fully, like, I'll do a crocodile roll fucking move or some shit like that, and that's fine. I don't, not every single aspect of my wrestling has to be fucking intertwined into the gimmick.
Exactly.
It's strange, especially, again, just thinking about, like, that era, like, that, like, 2020, 2021 era. You'd think like you look at people like Santino Marella, like he was like one of the most over acts in WWE for like all of the 2010s. He got a world title match out of it and there was a near fall where people legit thought he was going to win the world championship.
Yeah.
So you could see where it kind of would lead to. So it's at the end of the day, it's like, again, that was also just such a I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a mark, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So maybe
yes,
I don't.
You are.
It was from what people say. Late 2021, especially like the mass releases and stuff. That seemed like such a tumultuous time anyway, in that regard. So that must have played into it. And I guess to kind of bridge into that after your unfortunate release from WWE,
unfortunate because my bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
You're so very much thriving where you are right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's like I got a little bit more light in here. The fucking like it's one of those things where you're making so much money that I'm like, it is financially irresponsible for me to quit this job. I want it to be gone. I was so drained of it and sick of it, and like a lot of people are, but like you're like, it's like a like not to say this lightly, but like an abusive relationship or like an abusive ex where you're like, but they might change. Like they might change. Like
I think everybody's been there with jobs, man. It's like
they change. They would do it for other people. Other people would just come along and get stuff. Like even after like suffering for a bit, it might just click for them. Like it can happen. It's such an unpredictable business there that it could happen. But I was just like, it wasn't. And I was in catering in the locker room every week. Just there, and like a lot of people weren't traveling, like they didn't have a lot, but they still had me traveling with no intention to use me. But I was still like, I'd go see John Cohen and see if anyone needed help. Like, is there anything I can do in other aspects of things? Be useful. Like before the shows, I was in the ring rolling around with people who needed, to work on things, to practice stuff. So I think that definitely helped. But then, it's just then show starts and you just get dicked on, and watching other people get fucked around too. Like, it can be a rough place to be. I don't think it's as bad anymore, but it's still the same company. It's still the same business. So
exactly.
You just saw that, like that's what just happened with Dijak was that he got pulled up and then dicked around, and he had a very similar comment to you about the 2 hours of like the abuse relationship, like going pitching things, nothing coming of it, going pitching things, nothing coming of it, or like maybe something will. So it's like I don't think that's an off comparison at all. It's
and then you get released because creative has nothing for you. It's like, well, I just gave you a whole bunch of creative.
Yep.
So why am I the one getting released?
Yeah, exactly. It's
And that's.
But I mean, the creative turnover was huge too. So it's like,
significant.
That's the thing. Like no one's saying. When I was saying like how NXT could be miserable, it's because, and like the thing is, because everyone's trying to fucking keep a job, and they don't. Anyone could be gone at any time. You know what I mean? Like we don't have the things of like acting and that where you have to, or sports where you get paid out. You have to get paid out the rest of your contract. I think that they've kind of got that in now, that a lot of people are getting those safer contracts where you can't just get, well, if you do get fired out of nowhere, you still get paid the rest of your contract. So that's why you see a lot more people have their contracts expired. They don't get renewed now, rather. So, that takes a little like anxiety off. Like, especially the year that I got released, I think I was in the last group of 4 big groups of like 20, 30 people getting released.
Yep.
And when I got the call, I was like, yeah, man, no problem. And I was just like,
yes.
Fucking yes.
Yeah.
Released.
Cool.
See, I remember when Aleister Black was talking, or Malachi Black now, when he was, I believe it was Chris Van Vliet, it might have been, where he was talking about how he got the phone call and he just kind of laughed afterward.
Yeah.
That he got. I'm just like, that was a devastating day for me because I'm a big Aleister Black guy, and I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
he was finally getting something.
And he's the dude who was putting like, doing like, and I got to this point where you do stop trying, you do the minimal pitch because it's fucking like, who cares? Like, I could have probably done things where I got with production and filmed some stuff that would never have been used anyway. But Aleister is always the kind of guy who put in that extra effort of doing his own, like getting his own sets, filming his own stuff, and then presenting that. And so that it just shows too that you can do all that stuff, give them something original and new, and then still get fired. So,
Exactly.
Well, dude,
it's insane, man.
or you can sit there, do nothing, clock in and out, and then get a push. Like, as well.
Yep.
We
There's no
just
rivalry.
saw that with it. We just saw that recently in WWE with Odyssey Jones, which obviously
Oof.
horrible how that situation
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
turned out. But that
crazy.
just happened. But
I
even
mean,
like
that was, they were saying like, yeah, like I'm sure he was pitching stuff and shit like that, but that's the thing. Like their big idea was, hey, go have a match. Yes, after a year.
it's almost like it's my job or something. I don't know
exactly.
about that.
It's a very simple thing. Like, have people have matches. Fucking easy.
Fucking looks like it's wrestling company.
That's the thing, and shit sucks. It sucks. But yeah, so much.
That's what I was more so like when I said unfortunate release. I meant more so in just like because again that was time like you said like the mass releases and like the process they would go about to do it. So my question like to try and make obviously you're doing pretty well for yourself right now. But what's been after you left WWE or not well after you were gone from WWE, what was like your big like what was your main goal post leaving WWE and what's been like a highlight since you've left and you've gone to Japan, you've gone to New Japan obviously and likes like that, but like what's been like a major highlight?
Just my what's the easy way to say it? I guess my mental health is like the easy. I don't think of it that I don't really think of that, but like my quality of life in like significant pay cut, but the first match I had back with New Japan, that was probably the first match I had back. Well, the first thing that I did, it was in LA for New Japan Strong. I think it was me and Jonah versus someone. I think it was a tag match. I think it was something like that. And I remember you get the run sheet. I go talk to Rocky Romero. I'm like, what's the business of our match? And he's like, 10 to 12 minutes, whoever beats whoever. And I'm like, well, what do you want out of it? What do you need us to do? What should we do? And he goes, you're the professional. You know what to do. And I was like,
oh, yes. Thank you.
Yes!
He's like, I trust you. You're the professional. You know what to do. And then after the match, I was like, how was it? What do we need to work on? And he goes, no, man, that was great. Good shit. And I think we went like a minute over and shit too. No one gave a shit. Like, crowd was happy. We had fun. Go like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, that was great. And I was just like,
there was a shank on your knees in the rain, like just
and then going to like
creative freedom is a strong thing.
And then like my first tour back to Japan, I think we were working with Okada, Tanahashi, and stuff like that, and just how easy it was. Like you, and just the positive feedback. Like if you have a good match, like we're doing house shows where we didn't really do that much because it's a fucking house show and people are there to watch the entrances, see Tanahashi fucking strum an air guitar, Thingo hit the Rainmaker, then have a little go home speech. Like we had simple matches, fun. You still worked, and then you come back and like, how was that, boss? And they're like, thank you, that was so good, that was great. Like appreciation for what you're doing. And then I found that in like AEW as well. Tony is super supportive. Like I don't think I've had a match there and come back and him not be like, that was great. Like, thank you very much. We love having you here. I can't remember what match it was. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to bury anyone because it was probably my fault too. It was a bit of a stinker. I'm like, that wasn't the best match I've ever fucking had. Something went wrong. Doesn't matter. Like no one got hurt. Shit like that. There's just a few little things that didn't mesh well. And he was ecstatic. He's like, thank you, it was so good. The crowd loved it. And I'm like, cool. Like, oh, it felt good. And that's
exactly.
the big thing about pro wrestling is confidence. If you have confidence out there, it makes the job easier. Like you give off an aura of confidence, and then people are like, oh, that person's good. When you're confident in what you're doing, you're breathing better. You're not like getting nervous and like you don't gas out. It's just such a better environment. So like the highlight, for me is not having to stress, being able to like be a carefree fucking wrestler. Like, as I said, I'm like, not that I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck. I love having good matches. I like to do good shit, but like, I don't want to be someone who's angry all the time. You know what I mean? And like a lot of that in WWE was like that serious ass kicker where you have to be like, the whole time. I can't fucking mad. I'm like, what if I'm like not? Like, what if I'm just an athlete doing a sport that I'm good at, and like I'm wrestling this guy because it's my fucking job? Like,
I am here.
why, like
because I'm
basketball players,
employed.
tennis players don't go out there and they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, no, they have a game first, and that's the thing. Like, that's you. You should go out there. I mean, we've changed it to more of an entertainment thing, but in the purest sense of it, it's two people having a wrestling match, and then the one who's the bad guy does something bad, and that's what makes people angry. Terry Taylor would always say you got to play hockey before you have the fight, and that's the thing. Like, hockey players don't necessarily just go out there and start swinging. They play hockey. Someone checks them, and then they're like, all right, now we're going to throw fists. So you got to wrestle before you throw fists, and I love that about in Japan, but also the entertainment side of it with WWE, the characters. It still works. Like, it's fucking art, isn't it? Like, you can have all different types of ways, and that's what I mean. If you had a 8 match card and everyone did wrestle thing, you'd be like, let's get on with it by the end of it too. So.
That is true, isn't it? You got to have that
to counteract everything I just said.
It's like this. But also it's the exact
opposite. It's not.
Everything I said is wrong and everything I said is right.
Hey, acting student here, that happens a lot in my sphere as well. So, I see you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Now, I got a question right here. It's a bit broad. But what is your favorite wrestling match? If you have one.
Oh, mine or just in general?
Just in general. Like, is there one that you like always look back as, like something fond, something you?
Maybe not. I don't know which one, but like, there's a series of GHC junior weight title matches with Kenta and Nakajima.
Oh yeah.
I think they have about 3, and that series is like awesome to me. I fucking love those ones, like both those guys. Like the brown and yellow Kenta was my hero for the longest time. He's still my hero. My best,
to this day.
Close personal friend, my best friend Kenta. I'm sure he's missing me right now.
He's so positive on Twitter all the time.
Hey, he never says anything bad about me.
Never.
Yep. Hey, there you go. Yep. You can talk about CM Punk all it was, but hey.
If I don't see it, it doesn't happen.
There's one story from back in the Noah days where before a show we're all there, and Kenta's a very quiet guy, especially back then, even more quiet. And he'd never say a word to us. And Marufuji is talking to us, and Marufuji was studying English at the time too. And he was talking about how he'd been studying English and he got his English writing license or some certificate for that. And I was like, wow, your English is so good. And he's like, oh, no, but Kenta, he has the best English. And Kenta was sitting near us. And he sees that and he's like this. Looks at Marufuji like, why would you tell him that?
And then they went out and kicked the absolute shit out of each other.
Now they're going to talk to me.
That's incredible.
That was the true basis of their Noah epic, It was
Stop telling the fucking foreigners that I speak English.
What the fuck? Now I gotta teach these guys some shit. God damn it!
It's like, dude, you were just talking about brown and yellow Kenta. Like, I remember that. Like, I think it was like, I don't know, it was one of those takeovers. It was him and Bobby Roode going at it. Bobby Roode had this grandiose entrance. Obviously, Kenta just comes out. No gimmicks, just the tights with the brown and yellow. I'm just like, this is the guy right here.
That's fucking rules. So
it's good. I like that match. Super underrated.
You got those junior ones are sick. Like they were just beating the shit out of.
I think we gotta go back and watch some of those.
Load, those ones. Oh, the old fucking. And I show this match to a lot of people when like trainees and shit. Bret Hart and Davey Boy from SummerSlam '92. Wembley.
Classic.
It's fucking 25 minutes and they don't do that much, especially like the first 5 to 10 minutes is headlock takeovers. And it's what I show people. I'm like, moves don't necessarily matter. Like, I'm sure it's for a title, it's in your home country, your family's there, so it's like time stakes and all
brother
this
versus
stuff.
brother, or not brother versus
They're
brother,
not. Yeah, the start of the match, they're just brother and brother-in-law having a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Like,
32 years ago.
I forget that it was for the title. It was for the Intercontinental title, I think. Like, so it's like the fact that it was for the title doesn't add that much. The atmosphere does, but like, you could watch that match on mute and you can take something away from it. You know what I mean? Like, how to make the easy stuff, how to make simple stuff good. That's another thing, like, from the G1 this year, Yuya, how impressive he was, and his storyline was like, I'm just going to do the basics really well. And he did. And he did. And I was like, and I got drawn into it. The first match, I'm like, this is dumb. It's never going to work. And then by the end of it, I'm like, I hope he wins. like, come on, Yuya.
It's a shame. It's a shame he hurt himself, but like,
yeah,
he was so good. The G1 this year was fantastic. We kind of had to watch all of it because our stream group was doing a pick'em thing where we had to. We pretty much predict every single match, which was crazy.
Yeah.
It
was an easy one to follow.
It was pretty.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you had like so many like I didn't watch every single piece of the G1 this year. I tried to watch like the stuff that I was like really excited for. Like even just like the insertion of Takeshita, I feel like gave it a lot of like electricity because he was somebody who like him in that environment, like just so much aura in that.
Him and Cobb was a fantastic match.
Him and Cobb, both the Suji matches as well were just like the long term, and even like the end of the G1 with Zach and Suji, where it was these two guys who were like trying to like. It was simple in a way, like they were both trying to establish a different future for New Japan, right? Yep. And it was just, and I mean, I think Suji is fucking awesome as well.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
huge
Suji.
It was a big testament to just. It was a big testament to just New Japan in general because like after losing obviously a lot of big like pillars, obviously like Okada and Ospreay, like just losing a lot of guys right there.
Jay White,
Jay White as well,
Kota Ibushi as well was another one that they lost.
It's definitely a good bunch of they definitely got like a really solid like roster right now though. Like I think like they're really gonna be on the upswing here again pretty soon.
Yeah,
there was a time when it was just kind of looking like, ooh, like what's going on here? Like
it also like the how COVID hit Japan didn't help it either because like a lot of what's cool about New Japan and Japanese wrestling is the fans and the atmosphere that it gets presented across. So when you take that away too, it is harder when it is more of a sport like thing and like where WWE could fall on these pre-recorded things and big characters. Japanese wrestling had to rely on just the wrestling, which was still good in that, but it's like, it is harder. It is much harder without the atmosphere of the crowd and the commentary and stuff like that. So now, and then like their lockdown stuff took a lot longer to be lifted, like the crowds with the spacing and the no cheering. And now that like it is gaining momentum back now because those restrictions are gone. Right.
Exactly.
It was a long time coming, but it's already I think showing dividends for that for Japan.
And it's also a lot more. The country's in a bit of a recession now too, so it was hard for fans to come back to wrestling when they couldn't afford to. To go out and shit like that. So it's hopefully everything like I hope the best for the country too, like that everything.
Absolutely
gets better, sort of. Because like my US dollar goes really far there, so I live like a king when I go. That's good. I do like shit being real cheap for me, but
Which is fucking, again, struggling student. All of us in our mid-20s here, we're fucking.
We're getting there. We're
getting through it.
Don't worry.
We're on the precipice.
One of these days, Simon. One of these days.
Well, fuck. Our first times in Noah, like the first year or two while we were in Noah, I think like we were living at the dojo and shit was provided. A fair bit was provided, not a heap. I think we were on like fucking 500 a month, like 500 Australian a month. That's it. And so like, yeah, we were eating cheap as shit and like not going out doing shit that much. Like, I mean, I was able to save money still with that because you just learn to cut corners places and whatnot. But yeah, like that was dojo life.
Damn.
You've done the whole like you've done the Venn diagram, you know, you've done I guess like the line chart, I guess. It's just
definitely like
the
traveling wrestler thing, like because it's like started in Perth and then would go interstate there and then traveling to America in like 2008, 9, and 10. Like, and it's like me and Mike were just sleeping on couches, like moving to a whole nother country, sleeping on couches, traveling, seeing where we could stay and shit, like racking up a pretty good fucking credit card debt, which, you know, I've got a very good family, very supportive family and that, so that was good. That's fun. But then, like, at the time, like, working in Australia was fine. There's heaps of jobs there. So in the 9 months I was back home, I'd just work and save and then come over here for 3 months and spend all that money.
Crazy. Yep.
Yeah, and then there was one time when we did TNA Impact back in Florida, and we were staying there. We did the first week we did TV stuff, and they're like, "Cool, we might use you again." So we stayed there for like a month, I think, just renting a suite or something somewhere. And like I remember talking to my parents about it, like, yeah, this and that. We're just trying to keep it real cheap and blah blah. And they're like, "Well, have you been to Disneyland or Universal?" I'm like, "I just told you I don't have the money to do that." Just like, just put it on your credit card. Like, we'll help you pay it off. You can pay it back later. I was like, sweet. We did not go to Disneyland. We did not go to Universal. But we then had to get back to LA, and Mikey drove us across. So instead of just doing it, the first time we did from, I can't remember. It wasn't quite Florida, but it was mid-east, all the way to LA in one night, in one day. Like Mikey just drove because we couldn't afford to stop. We couldn't it was either stop or gas or pay for gas. So we paid for gas, and then Mikey just stayed awake and we just drove all night. Then this next time my parents were like, "Just put a credit card." We stopped the plane, and I just put up my credit card. So instead of fucking Disneyland,
drove past Disneyland with like the hand on the window, you know, like just
puppy eyes.
But that was funny. The funny thing of it too, like we would stop at like Red Roof Inns and shit like that, and we didn't know that is because in Australia when you get a hotel you pay per person, not per room. So we were like going to these things, and I'm like hiding in the car, like so seeing there's only one of us, and then Mikey would go and be like, "Hello, I need a 2-bedroom room for just me?" And they're like, "Okay," I don't give a shit. But we're like, "Okay, I'm gonna sneak into the room so they don't."
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Amazing. They didn't care.
The shenanigans. That's fucking sick, honestly.
That's
like,
amazing.
That's the kind of shit you want, you know, like even if it's like trying or mentally or physically, you know. It's
awesome. It's fucking funny.
Exactly.
Especially a guy like Mikey, who's like you've been with most of your career as well. Like, I loved TM61 in NXT, and I still love TMDK now.
Oh yeah.
Like, you guys have been cooking the entire time. So it's really impressive seeing everyone thrive.
We tried, and that was like I think when they finally let us switch to the Mighty, which we had to fight for fucking ever, and I think they only did because like, we kept annoying them so much. That when we got to do that, actually be fucking goofy heels, I'm like, this is what we should have been at the start. Like when we started, they were like, "What are you guys, heels or faces?" And we're like, "I guess we're baby faces. We get cheered in Japan, but we're heels. We're essentially heels.
Yeah.
We're fucking dickheads." And so like, we should have said that from the start. But we're like, we'll just be whatever you need us to be. A lot of it, like in Japan and in America, like we'd go to places and you do the right thing by the job. Like, what do you need? We can be that. That's what being a fucking true professional is. Being like, we need a babyface. No, I'm only a heel. Like, well, then you're not a fucking be a team player. So we just did that, and when we did that in Japan, we got rewarded. Like, that's how we slowly built up in Noah. It's just doing what was asked of us, and doing it to the best ability. And in NXT, that kind of fucked us. Doing what was asked of us, just like, oh, okay, you can just keep losing then. Like, it's like, and they're like, yeah, you guys aren't really over. I'm like, yeah, because we keep fucking losing, because we lose every match, or we barely scrape by.
Yeah, I get.
So that's our own. That's like, I put that on, like, it's on us as well for not fucking dying on our swords. And that's one thing. Like Grayson Waller, I say, is a really good example of this. He got over by fucking being loud on the internet, like calling people out and like talking shit. That he did not get. I'm sure he didn't get approved to post those things and stuff. Like when I was there, if I'd done that, I would have got fucking fired. And he 100% had put the same risk out there of them being like, what are you doing? You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to get yourself over. We tell you when you get over. But it was that he risked it and it paid off. So that's one thing that's a big thing I regret about NXT, is just going in there and being doing whatever they asked. And like the thing is too, like, yeah, they're going to be a serious ass kicker. And like I was told plenty of times, don't be goofy. And I'm like, that's who I fucking am. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And that's the fucking dynamic of Mikey and I, is it's straight guy and dumb cunt. You know what I mean? That's the it's a story like in movies. It's the fucking
that's a buddy. You guys are a buddy cop comedy.
We're a buddy fucking cop. That's it. Like, and they're like, they don't like it. They don't like it. I'm like, like they just
Jesse Ventura was talking about that recently. He was talking about how like he hates like he doesn't really watch a lot of wrestling today because he just hates the fact that TV writers write for wrestlers. He was saying like, you know, when I was wrestling, you know, it puts on that voice, you know, and back when I was wrestling, like in the Baja, you know, he would say like back in my day, you know, you were responsible for your character. You know, that was you. Like, you were taking up that mantle. You had to push, you know, for this, pretty much.
Yeah, and
there's really not a whole lot
Japan,
like that.
Japan is that, too. That's what Japan is. And that's it, yeah. That, like, it's a funny fucking thing to me. Like, we used to have promo class, and we'd have to, like, think of a promo and write a promo out and then do that. And I'm like, well, why are we doing this? If when we're on TV, you give us a script.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What's the point of us? Same with, like, in your tryout, you do a promo. I'm like, what does that matter? You should, in the tryout, they should give you a fucking script and say, read this script.
That's what it should be, right?
Yeah, like, no, what it should be is that we do our own fucking promos.
Yeah, well, real,
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
They give us the topic and the subject, and or at least we work with them more. Which I know a lot of guys can do, and like that's what you should do. You should fucking like put your foot down and be like, I wouldn't say this. This is what I would say, and stand up for yourself more and do like, risk it on that. So it's always a funny thing to me. Shit like that. Like, who cares what my character is? You're gonna pick it anyway.
Exactly.
You know, what are you guys gonna?
It's like it's like people make the character first before the wrestler, and that's like kind of like the issue. It's
that
like,
definitely happens a lot, but
and a lot of times the character, how you wrestle, is informed by who you are, and then who you are is also informed by how you wrestle, right? Like, it's feeding things. And when you have like this weird, like, okay, you want this part of your personality to be this, but like you want to do less of that, and then you're gonna wrestle in this way that you already do. You're already mismatching it, and I know it's not the best wording of it, I know, but like, it makes me think about how fucking odd it was. Like, I think about like if you or like other wrestlers, like a Keith Lee or a Malachi Black or whatever, like if you guys were in WWE now, like when things have seemingly changed, right? Like, I'm not saying it's like it's a 180 completely different, but it's it's a bit more like you would have I feel like now you would have at least had more of a shot, you know? Like,
well, they would have.
Yeah, they definitely would have. Yeah.
Not me personally. I think I did better, unfortunately, under Vince. Like,
it's like what Sami Zayn was talking about, saying like, Vince probably would have made me world champion, probably. Like, in the grand scheme of things, because he runs things on like literally like, you know, every day's different kind of, you know. It's like,
it seems like, you know, Hunter has his favorites, Vince had his favorites. They're all good. do that. You know what I mean?
Belt on Jinder.
Yeah.
He made the most of it. Like
he did. He made it work.
He absolutely
Bravo.
took that and he ran with it, right? So it's like
exactly.
Fucking love Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
we're big Mahal guys.
we are the Maharaja.
The
Maharaja.
Maharaja machine guns.
No, not
that's
again.
a good one.
Don't.
That's funny.
God,
I want to see that.
Oh, dude.
One of our friends, because I said this as a joke on one of our videos. One of our friends, he's a friend of the podcast. He made a graphic of, well, I guess he's Raj Desi now, right? So he's Raj Desi, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and it says the Maharaja machine guns are all elite, and it's absolutely incredible.
So good.
I think it was Mumbai City Machine Guns.
Yes.
Mumbai City. Oh
Which
god,
is unbelievable.
That works so well. That's so good.
Would.
Oh my god, I'm pitching. Let's
I
fucking
want
go.
to see. I want to see pro wrestling get big in India again, so that someone just does knockoff gimmicks like that.
crazy shit. Well, just ridiculous gimmicks
Hell
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
All right.
We just
Well, unless
GCW,
you
brother.
guys got any other crazy, wacky questions, I think we should move on to bring to the table.
All right. So guys, you can.
Start again.
No. Keep it like this, guys.
Okay.
We had such a lovely conversation with Shane that we forgot to plug our stuff. So we're gonna plug our.
So we
stuff
actually,
right now.
we actually put Shane Thorne actually in the closet. He's actually tied up. So we're gonna do our plugs real quick, then bring him back out.
Yeah, he's behind.
He's
the
not
screen right
safe.
now. He's screaming behind the screen right now.
You can follow us on Twitter. You can go listen to us on Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube, which is, my opinion, the best way to experience the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support us, we have more content hidden away on a lovely website called patreon.com/goodbadbro.
Oh,
And
We just
for
posted-
$3 a month, you can get so many VODs, including us watching things for the very first time, and my favorite bit of content that we do, the dubbing, which we
Please.
just released a Whiplash dub. that
oh
is
my
amazing.
god,
thing
dude! It
we
is
have
probably the
ever
best
made.
thing we've done. We were getting
Honestly,
this, I think.
the hardest I have ever laughed doing any of these fucking Patreon things so far. I was killing myself laughing. There was one point,
Dude.
folks, where Pepsi shot out my nose. It was horrible.
Dude, I think like because what we did here is we actually had like a pretty cohesive story this time, because that's been like my thing with these dubs. It's like I really want to make sure that we get a funny ass like plot that we made up instead of just like riffs, you know? Like I want to have like the idea of like Sonic the Hedgehog music playing a key factor in this movie is like,
I don't-
the funniest shit.
What instrument are you playing? Tell
How are
me.
you doing? How are you doing that?
How is this happening?
And of course, for those who are not subscribed yet, we do have a little preview out there on our Twitter, so you can view that if you'd like.
It's $3 a month, and it's free for the first 7 days, so you don't even have to pay anything. You can cancel if you don't like it. Just give
Dude,
it a try.
You're telling me you could go somewhere. You could go to the store. You can get yourself some Yoo-Hoos, right? Like, you know, 2-pack, whatever. That's like what? $3 at this point with inflation. I mention inflation all the time.
In
here for
this
some reason.
economy,
Anyway,
Yoo-hoo! Go to the
yeah,
website.
Yoo-Hoo. Yeah, you'll finish that in what? 2 minutes? You get like
These
so much
VODs
shit.
are 2
Hours of
hours long.
These VODs are 2 hours long.
saying
And they live
bullshit.
forever. You can go back to it. Once you
You
read
can
the year, it's
download them
gone.
even if you wanted.
It's
I don't
gone.
think
Live
they-
forever until the internet crashes and nuclear waste runs over the earth like an
Hey!
ocean.
Simon,
What?
what if I fucking hate Patreon and I want to support you guys in
Yeah.
a different way?
Well, if you take a look at
Too
your
bad.
fucking bald head, you see a denim wash, good bad bro hat, which you can get at www.pw.com.
Wow, look at this thing. Oh my god.
And there's so many things. We're gonna update it eventually with more merch. We haven't done an update, a drop in a while. We gotta get on that too. But again, the lovely acid wash hat. You can buy each of our individual hats. There's buttons. There's shirts. There's a flag. There's all this lovely stuff. You could show your support for the boys.
There's a water bottle.
There's a water bottle. I forgot about the
Yeah.
water bottle, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And just one small plug, if you want to follow any of us just individually out of all this stuff, you can follow Wyatt at Platinum Payton. You can follow me at Simon is Living, Criterion Collection, and at Donut Cast. We do YouTube stuff. We do Twitter stuff. Wyatt does Instagram stuff. We're all over the goddamn place. We just need to make
Speaking
a
of which,
motherfucking
Simon,
LinkedIn.
you have a new upload, don't you?
I do have a new upload. I posted it last week. It's the best WWE match of the year that everybody in this call loved. Gunther versus Randy
Comfortably the
Orton.
best match of the year, in my opinion.
Comfortably the best pay-per-view main event since the last one.
This is comfortably WWE's best show since Mania.
I'm so comfortably.
It was.
This is
Except it
comfortably
was.
the best better flip thing.
This is comfortably the hardest I'm gonna to send us out. This is comfortably the hardest I'm gonna smash my fucking computer with this time. A movie-related thing to bridge into it, because we like to ask all of our guests. Shane, what's your favorite movie, if you have one, or what's a favorite movie of yours?
I'm a big Star Wars guy, so like when things go down, original trilogy is my go-to. But I also love Judd Apatow comedies as well.
Forget about it, dude.
Like This Is 40, Superbad, stuff like that. I'm a big fan of things like that. I like the Blade movies. Love me the
Hell yeah!
We're talking.
Love all three Blade movies. Love them.
Dude, I'm a Trinity defender. I like that movie. It's goofy, but it's fun.
One of my tattoos is from Blade Trinity. So.
Oh my god!
For real? That's crazy.
The Dracula.
Holy!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's incredible.
Yeah, that's the Dracula.
That's awesome.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready to die? I was born ready, motherfucker.
Some motherfuckers always trying to.
I think it's Blade Trinity. I don't know if it's Blade Trinity or not. Where it's when he gets shot. He just goes, "Motherfucker, you out your damn mind?" Like he says it like this high pitched voice. It's so funny.
It's the one where he's holding the dude over the thing. And
Yeah.
like, tell me who did this. I can't. He said he'd kill me. Motherfucker, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you. Incredible.
Watch him again, man.
Yeah.
Right.
So
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
So.
let's swiftly move on to.
I thought you were going to ask me about the movie I was in.
Oh wait, which one was it?
Oh my gosh!
I'm a big South Korean movie star. I don't think you know that.
Oh yeah.
Wait, huh?
I went to
God!
I went to South Korea to be in a Ricky Dozan TV movie. I think I was like Mark Robinson is who I played. Some American
Caucasian, like American name ever.
Yeah, who didn't have any tattoos and didn't wear TMDK gear, but that didn't matter apparently. Ezekiel Jackson was there too. He played Bo Bill.
What?
Big motherfucking
Which the fucking
Rick.
hilarious thing of it, because then all the guy who played Ricky Dozan, the guy who played like Inoki, they were just regular South Korean dudes who never worked out. Like they were not body guys, and I was barely a body guy. And then there's fucking Ezekiel Jackson.
Big.
There will be no stopping.
There will be no stopping. The last ECW champion.
I'm gonna watch this.
Hilarious.
We gotta make a first timer out of that. We gotta
watch that one.
I honest to God doubt it even got fucking finished. But yeah.
Oh jeez.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, South Korea. It would have been a South Korean Ricky Dozan movie. Yeah, it was a good experience. Like earlier that year, we'd done Chicken Mania in South Korea, which was a bunch of Noah wrestlers over there. They put us up for a street show, like this big street show, and a couple of us did that. Like I think it was myself, Kotoge, Nakajima, and fuck that. I'm so grateful for Kotoge. He's so good. He's so like that. The guy, like the Osaka Pro guys, get. Like, so we wrestled these two dudes from South Korea who had like an army gimmick or something like that. Everything that we called, they instantly forgot. They were obviously they were. I think they were meant to be the baby faces, or maybe they were meant to. I can't remember. Like it was one way or the other, and we were like, they've forgotten everything. They're terrible. They're green. They're super green. If they've gotten better, that'd be great. But we just went straight away to fucking hokey WWF style stuff, and the crowd fucking loved it. Like it was a free show.
Hell yeah.
So like that, you're not getting. People don't want to see Puro style wrestling at this. They just want to go boo yay. So I think we gave them a good reason to boo us. Like, and then
you should have run the Hogan Rock segment. You should have run the Hogan Rock.
Dudes, these were bigger dudes, but like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
It was hilarious. And then Kotoge and I were in the same hotel room together. They bunked us up in hotels, but it was a love hotel. Do you know what a love hotel is?
Yo, I can put it together. I can put it together.
So they're short stay hotels where you would take someone for love. So
For love.
like if you're traveling overseas and stuff, these are good rooms, and they can be dirt cheap, and they're usually really nice rooms. Like this was a super nice room, big beds, big amenities, big showers and stuff. But then it had like the glassed shower, like so the shower was glass, so you could see in. Ooh, naughty, naughty.
How risque.
But then in the separate room next to it, there was the toilet. So it wasn't like in America where you have the toilet in the bathroom. The toilet was its own separate thing, like a lot of other countries do. But it was also glass. The toilet door was also glass, like
just staring your partner in the eyes.
We're like
hunkered down.
I need to go take a shit. We have to like roll over in bed and do like
That's
fucking hilarious.
No, you gotta lock eyes. You gotta.
Yeah, I guess
you should have just like put your hand on your knee and just like
a kink for everything.
Directly at them.
That's fucking hilarious.
Fucking hell.
I get why the shower room is glass so you can see it, but why does the toilet room need to be glass?
They're appealing to people with particular interests. That's all.
Maybe that's there you go.
Yeah. So,
no kink shaming in South Korea.
No. That was the South Korean movie, and then like there's somewhere I had to put someone in like a cobra twist, a abdominal stretch, and in my mind I totally forgot what the move was, and there's a photo of it, and I'm giving them like the completely wrong move. I'm doing a stretch thing, but I'm like giving them a little bear hug back grapple with my leg. I'm like, it's just this sexy hold. And I'm like,
hell yeah.
And I'm like, I looked it up and I'm like, why did no one tell me that was wrong? that was the wrong thing. Yeah.
Wow.
No, you just got to trademark that shit. Make that your new finisher. Make that your submission. Honestly, like.
Yeah.
The
no one was complaining. It was clearly over. So
yeah.
Bush.
Anyway, let's do this.
So that was
all right.
Thing.
Very, very cool. Wyatt.
So yes,
I would love to know what disgusting thing you found this time.
So I watched a film about last week or so.
Indeed.
It's a film called Southland Tales.
Motherfucker.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've never seen it.
So this is directed by the director of Donnie Darko, Richard Kelly, I believe his name is.
I did not know that. I actually did not know that.
It is directed by him. It stars Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. It stars Sean William Scott, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I've seen this.
Who else? There's a few others. Kevin Smith is in it. Amy Poehler.
Oh my god.
Dude, it is the most bizarre.
Curtis Armstrong, was he Dingleberry in Revenge of the Nerds? Yep.
Yep, he's in it. Yep, he's in it. I recognized him immediately. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, and also Justin Timberlake is the narrator.
Yeah.
And also, so I'm gonna just tell you what I thought this movie was about.
Yeah?
Because, wow, this was a weird fucking movie. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and that's not even the full cut.
Christ.
What?
There is a Cannes cut of this film. They screened at Cannes in 2006. That is apparently way longer, and even still doesn't fully explain everything. The director, Richard Kelly, wrote 3 graphic novels to set up what's the term? Exposition, yep. It is.
This movie has everyone.
Dude, it's ridiculous. The cast is insane. God. So here's the thing: the movie. I'm just going to read you what the general synopsis is because.
Hit me.
Yeah.
With the United States under the brink of nuclear attack, the lives of several people converge in a dystopian Los Angeles. Movie star Boxer Santoros, The Rock, that's who he plays, plans his next film with the help of ambitious porn actress Krista Now, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and troubled policeman Roland Taverner, Sean William Scott. Meanwhile, Marxist revolutionaries, greedy corporations, and secretive government agencies pursue their separate agendas among a paranoid populace. So, I looked into a bit.
Eric once.
Yeah, exactly.
How many Class A drugs must you be on to come up with this shit?
So, here's the thing. Justin Timberlake doesn't know what the fuck this movie's about, still.
No.
He's really good in it, by the way, for what he plays. There's only a part in the movie where he just does a fucking version of I got soul, but I'm not. Yeah, exactly. The Killers. Yeah, he does that. This whole sequence.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what the
awesome.
fuck?
That sequence is worth. You don't watch the whole movie.
Yep.
But that you just find just that part, and it's.
Oh, I'm gonna watch the whole
great.
movie. I have to now.
The music clip to that.
Again, that's the thing. I don't even know if I can recommend it. I mean, I would, but like, I mean, just know that you're not going to understand much. I mean,
don't watch it.
But here's the thing.
That's what
the director Richard Kelly was saying this about the movie.
Right.
He was saying that he made this movie because he was so fed up with the 24-hour news cycle. Because obviously, early 2000s, war on terror, bunch of other shit. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's kind of like how we equate doom scrolling now. You know. It's like that. Like, that's what the movie is. It's pretty much a representation of doom scrolling, because you're just like, okay, one thing to another. None of these really make sense, but they're all just on the timeline. You know, it's like...
Yeah.
Like, that's the song and dance number right there. It's kind of just like, you know, you're watching, like, a bunch of horrible things overseas or something, and then you just see some guy singing, you know? It's like that. That's how I view it as, you know?
I watched this, like, a barley burnt copy of this movie back in probably, like, 2007, 2006. Like, I have seen this, and I remember it, but I do not have any memory of it.
Even people who are like, because I've noticed it's gotten like a bit of a resurgence recently on the film community, and again, I think it's a interesting movie. Again, I think it's worth watching. Can I say it's a great movie? No. I could just say it's
every
interesting.
Movie you bring Wyatt.
And the thing is too, Kelly was saying about this too with his like casting for this. He specifically wanted people to go after people who wanted to break out of their comfort zone, and The Rock was obviously one of those people, because this is the first movie where he dropped The Rock from his name and he went by Dwayne Johnson. And that was like this was like the first time where he really tried to break out as like an actor, and he's good at the film. Because he has this thing in the movie where he's like obviously putting on his action star persona, but then there's times where he'll just see something so horrific and he'll just go. Like, he'll just do this with his hand. It's so goofy. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Ooh.
That'd be like one of the older actors on set being like, just act with your hands.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking, yeah.
That's a Warner Herzog direction.
Yeah.
Also, John Lovitz and Christopher Lambert are in the movie.
Yeah. So,
the Highlander himself.
Yeah.
Wait, Will Sasso is in this?
Will Sasso's in it, dude.
What?
Jesse Ventura himself, Will Sasso's in the movie.
Can we watch this for the Patreon? We have to.
I would love to, dude. If you wanted to watch this for the Patreon, I would fucking love to, because this is a perfect first timer if I ever seen one. But yeah, that is that's Southland Tales. It's a I give it a 2.5 bags of nachos at the movie theater. Bags of not even a box of nachos, just a bag.
Bag
of those nachos.
I just want to raise awareness to this film's Letterboxd, because usually on a Letterboxd, you know, the average rating is like pretty lopsided one way or the other.
Mid, yeah.
This is what Southland Tales looks like.
The most polarizing film of all time, it looks like.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait. Let's go.
Yep.
Simon, I'm going to get mine out of the way because I don't want to talk about it too long.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
What did you fucking bring?
He watched
so I never like try. I don't want to bring bad movies because I like talking about good movies, but it's been a string of good ones. And then this time I was on stream with my good friend Milk, who is doing a gimmick right now for his Twitch where he's spinning a wheel and he's watching whatever movie his viewers give to him. Now, notoriously, his viewers are assholes, so they put a bunch of terrible movies on this list.
Oh no!
Magnificent.
I coincidentally was there to watch with him. WWE Studios, The Marine 4,
right?
Target.
Is that the Barrett one?
No.
Oh, wait, what is Marine 4?
I think this is the Becky Lynch one, right?
No.
That's 5. That's 5. That's 5. I remember that, actually.
The only two people that were in the company that are in this movie are The Miz, obviously, and Summer Rae.
Right.
Now,
that's so unexpected.
I literally have no good points for this movie.
It's not good at all.
When you think, right, so it's an hour and a half. This is a normal length movie.
Simple
when
WWE
you think
Studios film.
of an action movie, you think there's a good guy, there's a twist villain, There's a there's a gunfight. There's a girl that doesn't trust him, and then later on they become lovers. There's a hostage situation. Literally, it feels like an AI writ this movie. It is so boring. The dialogue is terrible.
So there's movies that I see, and I'm like, this is AI, right? But then I'm like, no, surely AI has to be smarter than this. AI has to.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, what do you think an action movie is? We know it, and an AI should know it even better. Good guy, bad guy, 3 acts, blah, blah, blah. Yep. It has to be human-made. It has to be human-made, and like someone went, that'll do.
Even when AI, when AI will fuck up and it'll be like going on like a nice like talk, and then they'll just spew out some absolute nonsense. That's a twist, at least.
Yeah.
The only good point I'll say for AI writers over that's the only fucking thing. It's a skill thing.
Yeah.
I feel like human error can be worse. Of human laziness. Of like, WWE Studios would have had a deal with a production company or something to pump out so many movies, right? That's a thing, isn't it?
Fox Home Entertainment.
So they're just like, I don't know, let's just make a fucking 4th Marine movie. Does anyone have a script that's something that could do with that? And they just pull it out of the thing, like, we need action movie. Okay, that'll do. Like, from what I've seen of how shit gets pitched in Hollywood, being a Hollywood guy myself.
Ricky Kozan.
Being a Hollywood guy
famous
myself.
actor.
Like, things that get pitched, you just need to give. Like, you ever watch those, like, the movies that made us?
I've heard about this, I haven't watched
I know what it is.
They'll talk about, there's someone in a room who just reads the synopsis, like someone doesn't even write a full script, they just write, this is what the story will be. And they go, that's good, call that person up, give me a script on it. And that's when they start to write the script. So that's what would have happened for this Marine thing. They would have read that, gone, all right, we need a script in a week. Go.
It's
you know what I mean?
I'll tell you this right now, man. Best WWE Studios movie is that one with Dolph Ziggler, where he plays a cop, and then he points at Rusev with Rusev
down.
Rusev has the gun.
Rusev holds the gun
to get the gun out of his hand.
Because that was when they actually managed to have like a really cool idea. Because it's like, what if we just had an action movie that takes place at a WWE show? Like, we're WWE Studios, we can do that. Why not just do that? Like,
I wondered why they would never like have the WWE characters like involved in that. Like, dude, can you imagine if they like made like, remember when the Fashion Police were a thing in like 2017? Remember when we had like an actual mystery with them? Like, that would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's novel.
Yeah, like how SNL would make movies at like Wayne's World.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really what it was
born
from.
The characters, that would have worked. Like,
dude,
a Miz movie would be fan-fucking-tastic, where it's just like, The Miz is The Miz. He's meant to make. He's got to wrestle. He's also got to make a movie. But then it turns out the movie's actually real, and he's in real danger.
It's like, just do the Fall Guy.
See, that's genius.
Fall Guy with The Miz.
Just do the Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. I just Fall Guy.
Even like I always wanted back in the day, I always thought it would have been awesome if we had like a Wyatt family horror movie, like the Bray Bray stuff.
Didn't Bray say, wasn't there sort of like Bray was like making that, like he was writing that, and then they just never.
I think he was pitching it around. Absolutely, they had that reality show that they wanted to do too, him and Bo, where they would do like conspiracy stuff and everything. There's like a whole pilot they shot for it too. And that's a shame. That was in the doc right there.
Rest in peace, Bray. God, that's
great guy. We had is NXT Brooklyn, one of the maybe 2016.
Mm-hmm.
We had our show. Me and a couple of boys were just walking around trying to find a bar. We walk into a bar and Bray's there, and he's like, we're like, oh, we don't know him, so we shouldn't really. And he was like, come sit with me, guys. And so we sat with him. He paid for the whole thing.
Damn.
Super
fucking cool.
Super normal fucking guy. Just
man. Every story I hear, he just seems like just the chillest, coolest dude.
And then I think he headed out. He's like, thanks, boys. I'll see you guys later. And headed home, and then we got fucked up and had pancakes.
Good for you. There you fucking go.
Yep, there you go.
1 in the morning or some shit like that. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you had a Bray Wyatt story ready, because literally there's nothing to say about this Marine movie. I hate this fucking movie.
We talked about it for what, 2 seconds?
We talked about good ideas and then Bray Wyatt, which is way better.
What was the finish? What was the end?
What was the finish?
Yeah.
Okay,
How did it end?
Was it a clean finish?
Okay,
Spoil
so
it.
throughout the movie, right?
None of us are gonna watch it.
There's this bloke who's working for this like agency, and he's like the bad guy throughout the movie. He's like a South African bloke. He's really bad.
South African.
Justin Gabriel. God damn it.
This
Like
agent you
District
meet in the
9?
first 2 minutes is like he's in a different color suit, so he's obviously the twist villain. Off the bat, you immediately
Of course.
They reveal this 40 minutes into the 1 hour and a half long movie. So you already know he's the bad guy, and then this last fight takes like 25 minutes. It's in this forest, and there's shots of him running, there's shots of them running with guns firing. There's so much gun firing in this movie, and no one hits anyone. It's so bad.
WWE Studios.
Then,
Yeah, exactly.
there are traps in this forest. There's like fucking booby traps that get set off, and the guards are like dying and shit. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, I keep forgetting the Miz is in it, so every time he pops up on screen, I'm like flashbanged, and then like, oh man,
The Miz, First Blood, Part 2.
Yeah.
so bad. And then they
That's all. How
kill
many?
the twist villain before the bald guy, which was a much bigger villain than him. So like, no one was writing anything. Literally, I feel like they just bought gun props, went into a forest, and said, "Miz, do your thing, and then we're gonna get our pay."
And they filmed in order of how they thought, and then they're like, "Oh shit, that guy's still alive. We'll kill him then."
We'll just swap it out.
Yeah.
There's
Thank
so
God
many
for
scenes where they're
editors.
just clearly in front of them with a gun, and it's like, just shoot him now.
I guarantee you that the Chaperone starring Triple H is better.
Probably is.
Nah, dude, Inside Out starring Triple H with Mike Rappaport as well. I'm sure
Oh my
that's
god, I forgot. That was in the poster for every Authority segment. I remember, like you see it in the back.
He's so cool. He's got a gun pointed. He's so
Ridiculous.
So
Good
shitty.
lord. How many stars can I say? How many bags of popcorn?
Okay, we'll get to the stars. I will say, Rez, who was on the stream, one of my favorite quotes when watching this movie, Rez said, "This feels like a movie you'd see on a TV in a different movie."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, the McBain.
Tropic Thunder, yeah.
That's incredible. I love that so much.
Brilliant.
Like that, like.
This okay, so this doesn't even get popcorn buckets. This gets the unpopped kernels at the bottom of the bag. Do you know what I mean? That's how shit this movie
What does
is.
that say about me? Because I like to chew on those from time to time.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
fucking weirdo.
I mean, you're fucking weird, bro.
Very bad for your teeth to do that.
I know,
Dude, that's like-
I always get in shit with but my dad will see me doing it. He's like,
Dude,
"What the fuck are you doing?"
That's like when you're like eating like clams or whatever at like some seafood place and you accidentally bite into a pearl or some shit. Like it's like what the fuck? Like I'm in pain now.
I'm just eating
What
glass
fucking
at that
luck
point.
do you have that you just
Dude, I don't know what the hell happened. It was one time. It might not have been a pearl. It might have just been like a lump of sand or something for all I know. It was like fucking, I don't know.
What was just accidentally bit into a diamond?
I bit into it and I was like, holy shit, this is the worst pain I've ever had in my life. What the fuck? Like,
This poor necklace just goes.
oh wow, it's a whole shell.
You just keep eating people's proposal food. Like you
Just pull out like a comically large, like SpongeBob SquarePants fucking clam, just like,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It starts flying away with the fucking
Yeah.
God damn it. Alright. Simon, what did you bring to the table?
What you got, buddy?
What did I bring to the table?
Yeah, man.
I haven't been watching a lot of movies lately. I can't lie. And my gimmick is that I'm like the movie
guy, the film
I'm
man.
Movie
my
pod,
friend-
and you haven't watched any movies?
Well, no, I've watched a couple, but usually I'll watch like a big handful of them, and like I'll have a bunch pick up. I really only have like one movie to go with.
Okay.
I was gonna come with a game originally, like Cass did last week, because I've been doing my yearly Sonic Adventure 2 replay, which has been a fucking blast.
Okay.
But I rewatched the movie with my family about a week ago on Labor Day. And it's a fantastic little movie called Sing Street. Has anybody seen Sing Street? It's a fantastic movie.
I've heard
Sing
about it.
Street.
Sing Street.
Sing Street.
Yeah.
Sing
Sing Street.
Same Street. I've heard about it. This is one of those films I think I remember just having like a lot of praise. and I never saw it. Like, I just never got around to it.
Well, it is well warranted because I watched this originally 2 years ago. I remember it because it was just after I got my fucking wisdom teeth taken out, and I was barely barely like
conscious
at that point, and my mouth was in pain. I had blood just pouring. It was like I'd been into a pearl, you know. It was blood pouring out of my fucking mouth.
Yeah.
I remember loving it. But then on a whim, we were looking for a movie for all four of us to watch last week because it was Labor Day. We all had the day off, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just throw out Sing Street because I hadn't seen it in a while." And this is probably next to Almost Famous, my favorite movie about music ever made. Honestly, I don't know if it's as good as Almost Famous because Almost Famous is fucking spectacular. But I think this is fantastic. I think it's one of the most like unique. Its setting and its time frame allows it to be a very unique coming of age story, and it's very like it.
I am a sucker for those, so yeah.
I think it's amazing because there are a fair few cliches in it where it's like you have the older brother who's essentially the sage kind of like teaching the younger brother, you know, and all that stuff, and it's like the whole of the movie is that it's this kid. He's living in Ireland in the early 90s. His parents fucking hate each other. They're on the brink of divorce. He has an older brother and an older sister. He gets downgraded, sent to this religious school, and he copes with how shit the school is by getting all the people around him, and they form a band and they call it Sing Street. And he also does it because he wants to appease this girl who we met on the side of the road. Literally just starts a whole band for it, and it's really, it's super simple, right? But it's like they have a lot of cliches again. Like the brother is like he has all the records, and he's like showing him like you gotta be really because originally they're doing
this is music.
No,
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't fall into that. Thankfully, it's like it kind of does, but it's more so. It's less like he's like originally the kid's doing like cover songs, and they're not bad, but he tells him like, this is bad because you're not allowing yourself to be bad. You're just taking what other people are doing, and you're not making your own like thing. And that's
a good line right there. You're not allowing yourself to be bad. That's a good line.
Well, because there's a lot of like imagery and like just dialogue stuff about like following in people's footsteps and following in people's jet streams is a thing that they say a lot. And I think that's honestly like there's a great scene with the brother where he talks about that. And there's also like, you know, it's the out of his league sort of like not the most attractive looking guy going after this girl who was clearly like way out of his league, and he's like starting a band just to do it, and you know his parents are struggling, and he has this bully who's like all secretive about like his home life, so I wonder how that's gonna go, right? But
oh wow, yeah, exactly.
it never feels like cliche though. I think they find, because the setting, because the way they frame a lot of times when they do the songs, which are fantastic, by the way, the music is great. The movie's written and directed by the guy who did Once, which is another great movie musical, called John Carney. And it's all very unique. It all sounds from that time. But whenever they do the music, it basically shows the music video, like the process of them making it while they're playing the song for the first time. And it's super unique. It makes it stand out. And, you know, it's just earnest as hell. It's really like, it's not, there's a lot of movies that kind of roll in like the sarcastic humor and the cynicism and bullshit like that. This is a very earnest movie. It's a very funny movie. A lot of great, just like, standout characters. You have like the one, like the smallest, youngest kid in the group. He's like this little redhead. He can't play any music, so he ends up just being the manager, and he's just negotiating them the whole time and bad mouthing their music. It's like, I'm gonna get paid so much for this shit. You have no idea. Right? And it's great. He has his friend who is like his main musical compadre, and he's great with like there's a sequence where it's just like a montage of him he's playing like piano, the guitar, and then it's like the marimba, a tiny little like xylophone set. He's got like maracas going. He's playing bongos and shit. Like it's just like this montage of that, and they have like this really like kind of quiet, understated friendship, and it's just lovely, and it's a comfort watch, and it's easy to watch, it's easy to enjoy, it's easy to get wrapped up in it. The ending is really fucking powerful. Speaking as somebody who has an older brother who taught him a lot of stuff, it's just very effective for me without spoiling exactly what it is. I loved it. I'm happy I revisited it, and I think everybody should watch it. I think it's super, and why it's right. It got a lot of praise, but it's not talked about a lot, and I think
he's very earnest.
Easy find.
Yeah.
Well, it's on Netflix. I saw, so
yeah.
That's how I originally watched it when I was on my fucking
out of action.
Like I was just sitting in my bed, and my TV is like super far away from my bed. I didn't have glasses at the time, so it was just a bunch of blurs. So I had to like sit all the way up and like just barely sitting up, almost falling asleep watching it.
Now you say you said that the movie was very earnest. Is it as Ernest Goes to Jail?
Ernest Goes to Jail.
Great movie.
I thought you were gonna say, listen, it's not quite that. It's like Ernest Goes to Africa level. You know, it's like it's about.
Okay, good. Oh man,
I can't imagine how to rewatch that is.
Dude, I was watching Ernest Goes to Jail like at the start of the year, and oh my god, dude, that movie he becomes like Electro at the end from Spider-Man. It's like, what the hell is happening, dude? Dude, what a fucking weird series of
You're
movies.
a fraud, Spider-Man, and he throws the chair.
What was that, Shane?
Is it because he gets the electric chair and then absorbs the powers or something?
It was something like, that's literally what happens. It's literally, no, it's not an electric chair. I think it's like an electric fence he tries to cross, and he just goes like whoa. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, weird movie.
Never seen it.
How many stars, Simon? Or bags of popcorn?
I'll give Sing Street, I'll give it 4.5 bags of popcorn and like one of those really dope, like I don't know if you guys have them in America and Canadian theaters, they have like this dope, it's like this frozen yogurt stand with like dope flavors and shit like that, like an extra half for that, so it gets to the
okay.
Yeah, it's a good little addition to it. That's what I'm
on the
thinking.
side.
Putting my popcorn kernel in the yogurt.
Now, Shane, do you have a film that you brought, or did you already talk about it with the one you were in?
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't. I don't come prepared. I did not, but I have watched movies. Actually, going off what you said before, like I never realized I'd never seen Almost Famous until the other day. I put it on in the plane because it was like at the top, and I was testing it, and I'm like watching it. And I'm like, I swear I've watched this movie before. Never seen it before. It's so fucking good.
Spectacular. Right?
Only thing. So the scene, the Tiny Dancer scene on the bus. They skip a part of the verse, don't they?
Well, okay. I don't know.
Chorus. The build up to the chorus. I feel like they go to the verse and then straight to the meat of the chorus. Yeah.
I remember like when I watched, because I watched the first time legally. And it was the extended cut that the guy that the director released on Blu-ray shortly after, and it's like it's an additional like 30 minutes. Like I think the original cut's like 2 hours 10 minutes. I swear, maybe I need to watch it again and remember. I swear they have the whole song in the in the extended cut, so it might have just been like a really awkward cut they did for the theatrical release.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched it on a plane too, so
that could have helped affected it as well.
There's so many cameos in it that of like people who are now gone on to bigger things, not bigger and better, but bigger things.
Yes.
Great. I just love also, like, because I remember, I know it, but my sisters loved that movie because it's set in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. I always, in my mind, it's one of those movies that tricks me into thinking that's when it was made too.
No, it was like the
2090s.
It was 2000. Yeah. Well, it's probably filmed in the late 90s, but released in 2000. Yeah. It's fucking crazier.
Yeah, but I'm just like, ooh, like sometimes I'm like, he's a 15-year-old boy. He's a 15-year-old boy. Why is nobody checking that this is a 15-year-old boy? So those 3 women just slept with a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know about this, guys.
This movie's not getting made in 2010.
Today.
That's awesome.
In the same vein as that, I always get into this habit of then picking a movie and you end up fucking scrolling for a movie for an hour and then you don't watch a movie.
Oh, my brother and I do that all the time.
It's the new one on Netflix. It's the new teen party movie. Incoming.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
It just showed up. I went, fuck it. An hour 30, press play, and it's the Tales of Time fucking thing, like party movie made these days. So going from that other one that was set in the 70s to this one here, it shows that like there's Almost Famous isn't a party movie, but it still like has similar.
So there's parties in it. It's a pretty rowdy movie,
and like the age difference stuff. It's not bad. It has a lot of the tropes that like it's a high school thing, and that's what I love about these things of like what do you call them? A new person to high school?
A freshman.
Freshman.
Yeah.
And then what's the oldest ones?
Seniors.
So how old is a freshman?
Like
15 usually.
14, 15 usually.
And then like a senior is
17, 18.
Yeah. So like there's 4 years fucking difference between them at 3 to 4 5 years difference between them, and they act like it's the world of difference. Like, oh, you're a freshman at a senior party and you've never got drunk, stoned, and fucking on horse tranquilizers before. What a nerd!
Let me get you the Hangman Page shit right in the mouth.
Yeah, it's like, well, you started it by saying you're a freshman. Like, why? And I don't get why the seniors are all in these movies. The seniors are always mean to the younger kid and be like, "I can't believe you've never done this before." Of course they haven't, and neither had you when you fucking started.
Yeah.
Kid, we're gonna show you how to party. I'm like, mate, you're fucking 17. This is your first beer as well. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Shut the fuck up. You're all fucking nerds. Just have fun. Like,
maybe not your first beer, but like your first beer not supervised by your fucking dad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Shane on the plane watching it like, oh, you know what? You know this guy. Fuck.
He's fucking pissed.
Then the gate crashes come and they're like the tough guys. I'm like, mate, you're 18. Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck. You're, like, then like they're all like the cool kids. It's like the next year, then you watch like a college movie, and then that kid who was the cool kid there is now they're the what? You've never had a fucking orgy before? Get the fuck out of here!
Never seen a fucking vagina before. Here we go.
Fucking
What the hell?
Sex with every girl ever? Like, no.
You ever been a roadie before? No, that's not the average fucking kid's
Oh
life.
my!
Captain fucking New Japan. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, why are we always like the reason? Like, you see, how old you guys say you were?
I'm 22.
Oh yeah,
26.
me and someone at 22. He's 26.
I'm old as fuck. Yeah.
So we're past that
What
point.
is
We
your
ain't serious no
thing,
more.
Shane? I'm curious.
I'm 38, so
Oh,
Yeah, fine. We've had old. We've had older.
we actually have
but
a
I'm just
list.
like, I was just thinking, like, like our generation, we're always like looking at the younger kids, like, these are dickheads. Like, how are these? How do like they're to be getting better
Oh,
and better
dude,
each
don't
generation?
get me
but
wrong.
you're the
Yeah.
dickhead generation that I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we're gonna get off recording. You'd be like, guys, that was fucking shit. I'm never coming back ever. This is garbage.
But I think it's like we always like look at we're always meant to, we should be getting better and better as a society, and the young people should be smarter and better than what we were before. But I'm like, I'm like, why are these young kids dumbasses as well? Like,
Why are they talking about skibbity toilet and
putting the same
Riz
fucking movies out there with the same tropes of this is what is cool and this is what you should be doing. I'm like, no, we should be helping. Like, the seniors should be like, oh, this is your first time? Well, let's not get, like, we'll get you fucked up.
Yeah.
But, like, let's not be like, why have you never done it before? Like,
Exactly. It's so dumb.
I don't know. I've got a product design exam tomorrow. What the fuck?
I don't know. My dad will disown me if I get anything less than a B- on my science exam. Like,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. Like, let's because like these movies have been made since like the fucking 60s, 70s, and they follow the same point. The type of stereotypes changes in it, but the formula stays the same.
Yeah. Exactly. Which is. Sorry, I was gonna
This
say
one
one
was
of my.
good. This one was a good one though. It wasn't too bad.
that's solid.
I want to touch on this too. Just like
give it a corn on the cob.
oh, perfect. I was just gonna say
butter.
corn
With the
butter bath?
with the
Get the
butter.
butter bath as
A
well?
little bit of butter.
A little bit.
Alrighty.
No, it's not perfect. And the main character, dude, charming. That kid. I see. If he keeps,
I was about to say who's the main. I
He's
think I've seen this. Who's the main character? I saw like a trailer. I think for this. It's
some kid.
Mason
What's
Thomas.
the name of the film again?
Mason Thomas.
Incoming.
Incoming.
Yeah.
Incoming.
Oh, Bobby Cannavale is in it. I might have to watch this.
Who?
Yeah.
Bobby,
He's in things.
Bobby Cannavale.
Isn't he the 21 Jump Street guy? He's the he's like the drug dealer. Or is, oh no,
No, it's the guy in Ant-Man. He's the guy who's he's like the new husband of Hank's
yes.
of
His arc in it is I can't remember the first thing I ever watched of him. I didn't like it. Then everything I've seen him in since, I've really liked it. Like he was in
I think he was in Mad Men or something.
Did you watch fucking
Boardwalk Empire?
Who's that?
Boardwalk.
Pete Davidson's TV series that he had.
Oh, I've heard it's great. I haven't watched
It's
it.
fucking hilarious, and he's hilarious. Yeah. He's great in this too. His character, you're just like, because he's like, so he's the cool teacher, and then he ends up coming to the party, and you're like,
oh yeah,
go to the party. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But the payoff is fantastic. The three main guys are all great. The three main kids are fucking fantastic. They got great chemistry and they got great characters. So yeah, the movie goes for fucking, how long does it go for? Like, goes for an hour and 20 minutes, if even.
Yeah, it's simple watch. Yeah,
it's so easy. Like, so easy. Some good jokes. Yeah, funny as fuck. But it's it's like, you guys are all 16, 17-year-old kids. But, like, just have dumb fun with your mates and do good in school. Like, you don't need to be fucking and drinking and trying to lock down girls.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. In my opinion, one of the most underrated party movies is Project X because of how fucking.
I only watched it like once.
Yeah,
dude, it's so because that came out like I think it was like 2012. It came out. That was like when found footage movies like that were like on like the peak. Like fucking Paranormal Activity was huge. We just had Chronicle. Huge fucking year.
Love Chronicle so much.
I love that so much. But dude, this movie it started Miles Teller also, which was cool. And this was like just the idea of doing a found footage comedy party movie was like no one's done that yet. Let's try that. And it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's so fun.
You wish you'd get more like another good example, I think, for like the party scene and like actually like accurate being funny but also accurately representing the high school scene is the show American Vandal. I don't know if anybody here has seen American Vandal.
That's a great one. Yeah, we watched a little bit of that, I remember.
Season 1 is fantastic. It's one of the best things Netflix ever made. I'm so sad that it got canceled because it was a fucking fantastic show.
Because it was like a dead serious documentary about some stupid prank, right? Like that was like
It's this prank of like this senior who like spray paints a bunch of dicks on the teachers' cars and they treat it with the utmost sincerity. Like it is. Now it's still like there's jokes in it, but it's the characters joking amongst each other. Like they never take the situation itself any less serious. Like it's like somebody got murdered in the parking lot. One of the guys like describing him seeing it right out. One of the little like nerdy warty kid is like describing it, and he's talking like, I watched him do it, and he went dick, and then it cuts to like a black and white picture of the car, and then dick.
Like, it was like, I walked around the corner and I saw them stabbing, and it was so nice.
He gave him ball hairs. It was horrible.
Oh no!
Great show.
He even made it uncircumcised.
Oh no, dude! There's a plot point later on about how the dicks, a way that they try and disprove that it's the kid who's being accused of it is because the dicks in the parking lot don't have ball hairs on them and they don't have shit spewing out of them.
Wow. That's bowling card.
I gotta get around to watch that show again.
You gotta. Well, you didn't. Did you finish it, Wyatt? Did you finish?
I saw like the first like 3. You showed me the first 3 episodes. I didn't watch any more after that.
Go back, watch it all from the start in like one sitting, and you will not put it down. It's so good. Yeah. Such a good show, honestly.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
Well, then.
What a lineup. Great segment. What a lineup.
Yeah.
Guys, you can vote on Twitter at some point. I'll probably put all of them in a big poll, but at this point, it's been a stellar episode once again.
It's been great.
I personally want to thank Shane for being here. I'm sure the boys will do the exact same.
It's been awesome.
Great pod today.
Great stuff.
Thank you guys.
Nah.
What's that, man?
You have an idea, Cass. You had a thing that you had to present to me.
You wanted to.
You brought some papers on my table today, Cass, and I said I can do that. No problem.
Good job.
And that is, of course, last week's poll question.
Shane, we have a poll every week on Spotify, and we used to do what we do on Twitter, which is we'll post all the movies we bring and then people will vote on it. But eventually Wyatt decided to stop doing that on the Spotify and just post a bunch of random fucking nonsense with a stupid question at the bottom. So we're going to read the results for you with no context. I hope you enjoy it.
I would never know.
We don't condone this.
First time. We don't condone this.
I never look at the Spotify page. It's a visual medium.
Oh God, this is gonna be amazing then.
So, unfortunately, we have a tie on both second and first place.
Well, what was the question first off?
So the question was, who should John Cena have picked a fight with instead of Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2022?
Oh boy, who's it gonna be?
Oh my God! In second place, with no votes, was Darren Young, Ken Shamrock, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
So it was a tie.
What?
No one wanted to see any of them.
greatest triple threat match of all time if it happened.
And then
honestly.
to tie first place with 2 votes each, Christian and Paul Walker's brother. Why is that there? Why is that there?
Who's Paul Walker's brother?
So that is an inside joke that I made, because he was not unfortunately able to, of course, film his material for Furious 7 because of his passing. So they had his brother step in for him for a few scenes, did some CGI work.
Yeah.
So I was like, there was like a running joke a bit ago where I'm just like, you know what, man, if this person can make the movie, just get Paul Walker's brother and CGI him. Some of them, and then do that. I'm like, yeah, that could work.
Dude, Alien Romulus. They should have brought Paul Walker's brother in.
God, don't get me started on that movie.
Anyway, that's been
Paul Walker's brother, but someone else CGI'd onto him. Yeah.
Yes, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan CGI Doctor.
I select Daniel Bryan.
Imagine Planet of the Apes. Imagine like Rise of the Planet of the Apes with all Paul Walker's brother instead of apes.
Jesus Christ. No.
Rise of the Planet of the Walker.
My goodness.
This has been the Good, the Bad, and the Bruv episode 20. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
We will see you next time, boys.
Thank you so much,
Shane.
Shane.
Boys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.